of the biggest problems in the United States is organized religion. Not just Christians, but Hindus, Muslims, other people. The leaders of their denominations have been funded openly by governments and corporations to preach doctrines of submission to government, submission to tyranny. Christians in the last 150 years have been taught they're not to fight evil, they're to lay down to corruption. When all the major prophets were killed or tortured or imprisoned and Christ himself was killed, they don't want you to know that it was the pastors who led the revolt against the British in 1776, the Black Brigade as they were known, because regardless of denomination, they tend to wear black suits. And they want to hold up these pulpit prostitutes like Benny Hinn and the rest of them to make religion look bad, to make Christianity look bad. And then the rest of the Christian community spends most of its time infighting with each other. That's why this is a news show, and we cover news and information. It is a secular fact. See, as soon as you get into religion, people out there who aren't Christian, who are agnostic, who don't believe in anything, Einstein believed in God because he studied the universe. His mind could grasp it. You could see the intelligent design everywhere. But regardless of that, they want to make it a religious debate. That's why when I cover the occultic activities at Skull and Bones or Bohemian Grove or by the United Nations and Maurice Strong out in Colorado, they go, oh, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in that stuff. Okay, well, as an anthropologist, as a psychologist, as someone studying society, is it a little unusual that we have world leaders who are involved in a Luciferian/goddess cult and believe they want to bring in a one-world government to exterminate 80% of the world for Gaia? I mean, that's what they believe. That's in the United Nations Biological Diversity Assessment, 89, 96. The Pentagon's written stuff like the Earth First Battalion, that's where that term came from, in the 70s, saying that they're the pale horse rider death, and they're going to bring in world government, and they're going to kill the majority of us, and Spangler and others in CFR publications, like Foreign Affairs, have said all of us will take a Luciferian pledge before we initiate. Okay, you're an atheist. What do you make of that? You think religion's stupid? You think we're all kooks? You say, oh, you believe in Jesus, I'll believe in the spaghetti monster, or I'll believe in the tooth fairy, or, like Bill Hicks said, you believe in the tooth fairy? Well, I mean, how about I'm saying a little elf is putting Lincoln logs in your dresser? Whatever. My whole issue is, why is it only Christians who are kooks if they believe in a creator? But we all know the UN is pushing this one world religion. We make films about it. We cover it. We constantly get into it. But I tell you, I talk to a lot of Christians, and they go, oh, I know the New World Order is real. Praise God, I'll be out of here soon. And I'll go, well, don't you want to warn your friends and family? Well, that's just the way it is. If they don't repent, they'll go to hell. They won't be raptured. The Antichrist will get them. What a cop-out. People thought it was the Antichrist in Europe with Hitler. Russian Christians and Ukrainian Christians, when Stalin and before him Lenin were killing him, thought that it was the end of the world and, they were going to stand down. The Aztecs laid down to the conquistadors because they thought it was the end of the world. Thought they were gods. Some Native American tribes laid down and did a ghost dance. And, I'm not laying down to evil. I'm not going to take the coward's way out. And my Bible, but also history and common sense shows that I need to stand up against tyranny and corruption and say no to evil. And so really, I don't want to be associated with what is known as a Christian today. I don't want to be associated with any of that because that isn't what's in my Bible. You can go off with your Romans 13, and they celebrate when the news is pushing implantable chips, and they celebrate all this talk of war with Russia. Oh, we're going to be out of here soon. And when they're not out of here and the things that are coming, they are going to lose their faith. See, it's all a trap. This is very sophisticated. And I'll tell you, I judge a tree by its fruits, and I found atheists and agnostics, by and large, are very unhappy people. Why do they care if old people are being euthanized or children are starving to death? We're all just animals anyways, and it's all social Darwinism, and humans are bad and we're a parasite. And, there's not this belief that there's the divine, there's the outside of us, there's the larger universe. We're on a planet hurtling through space around a sun with billions of galaxies all around us that Hubble Space Telescope can see. There's so many mysteries, so many dimensions, so many things we don't know. But if they can get you to decide, I'm just like a bacteria, I'm just like a mold, I'm nothing, I'm not special, then the establishment can say, oh, but the animals are. We're going to represent the animals, and they're going to outvote you, so you're going to lose your property rights now. It's all about control. So, perhaps I should have some pastors on that I do respect to go over Romans 13 and go over what's happened to our churches and what they've turned into. But regardless, I come at this with the news and the information, and it's a million times more successful than some preacher on a street corner screaming at people who are drunk coming out of bars. They just laugh at them. Now, I'm not saying going down the street for anything political or religious is bad. That's a great thing. But you see the way they do it, it turns people off. You need to reach out to them. We're in a lot of trouble as a society. Now, on another issue of solutions, all we offer here on this radio show is solutions. If you listen to every hour of the show, what is the big solution? Waking people up, reaching out, so people understand the political minefield they're in, so they understand the society they're in, so they know the people perish for lack of knowledge, so they know offshore banks are setting up a world government, so they know they're setting up a global central bank to control our nation with carbon taxes to regulate every facet of our lives. So they know that the entire Northcom system is built around blocking the states from resisting a federal takeover. You know, that's a huge solution. Learning about what the gun bills are and raising a hue and cry, raising the alarm, that is the key. And then once you have a cadre of educated people, which we have, getting you to go out and educate others and educate them that action is needed. Take what we've done just in the last month, in a few days, beating the drum of states' rights to this federal takeover. The outrage is there. The public's waking up. Now we need to take the states over. Need to remove the electronic voting machines. First, we've got to discredit the electronic voting machines and educate folks they're a fraud. You know, it all first comes with knowledge. It's like if your engine's blown and you want to go fix the engine, but you don't know how to fix it. You've got to learn how to fix the engine first. And so this is the crossroads we're at. This is a very important time in history right now. And look at how I've been beating the drum for 13 plus years about the police state and the New World Order and the FEMA camps and the troops trying to take your guns. And people laughed at me and it was a big joke. I didn't care. I knew they were preparing for it. I had the documents. I showed them to people. We had the video of them training. And I knew that as it unfolded, I hoped we just had more time to back them off so we could wake people up. And we have done that now. And now I talk to my dad. I talk to my uncles. I talk to cousins. I talk to people all over the country and the world. And they say, Alex, the Japanese parliament is watching your films and committee hearings. And we have Japanese parliament members on. We've woken up. And Alex, members of the Italian parliament are listening, and Russia is listening, and Germany is listening, and leaders in our government are listening, and I get generals and admirals calling me up, retired, and colonels and special forces people, and they know. And they're like, how did you know? And I ran right into it. There were urban warfare drills. I said, what are these? I found out it was a takeover plan. I started warning people. So what? I'm trying to save people. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to save myself. It's symbiotic. If I don't help others find out the truth, if I don't make sure they're free, I don't have any future either. See, the New World Order teaches you how to be selfish. I don't care what's happened to my neighbors and others as long as I got mine. But then when they don't care about you, you get enslaved as well. See, it's a mutual defense. When we defend liberty, defend freedom, stand up against oppression, aren't cowed by the police state. When we analyze its architecture and expose it, then the people see it going into place. Just like we talk about Internet 2, 5-6 years ago, now it's mainstream news. Our credibility just went up again. Now people know it's true. They know Internet 2 is a takeover. They're fighting it. You know, people say, well, where's the martial law? Well, where's the police state, Alex? Well, Congress has been threatened with martial law. Federal Reserve Bank governors have said they're not even allowed to know what's going on. They're under war powers and martial law. Northcom is now in control. They're announcing they're going to put troops on the streets. That's another ratchet up in the police state, in the martial law grid, in the Richter scale. But because we exposed this so diligently for so long, now their rollout of this program isn't going to go as well. And the praise goes to those men and women out there who knew the truth, who checked out my info, who took action, who made copies of Police State 2, The Takeover, Police State 3, Total Enslavement, Police State 2000. Those of you that made copies of my radio shows, those